Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's an early one, guys. It's an early one. We had a late night last night. It was a late one. Getting a hold of Paige right now. We're talking. Okay, she's all set. We're gonna get into it here in just a sec. How's everybody doing? All right, we're gonna get right into it. Paige is in the house, guys. Let me cut the screen here. I'm gonna switch my camera over to Google Meets, guys. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Boom. Camera on. Good morning, Paige. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm very sorry. I got back very late and I'm not dressed. So I'm speaking to you undressed. Give me one moment, please.
I mean, do you want to make donations or not? I'm just saying.
You know what? Anything for your cooking. I get it.
Well,
you know me. You know me.
Yeah, well, I do.
All right. Nice I found my headphones.
Tunnel number 7, right?
Oh, everything to the front, as we say. Yes. Bear with me for just a moment. I apologize. I'm really trying to make sure I don't turn the camera on because I'm running around real quick. It's hot as hell here. It's 94 degrees or something like that where I am. Oof. And when you're in a, this is a little bit of a privilege moment, first world problem. It's hot as fuck. It's 94, 95 degrees and there's no air conditioning whatsoever. And you're running around constantly meeting with people and doing stuff. So bear with me, please.
Yeah, no worries. More going on in LA as well, it looks like.
I kind of fill me in a little bit if you don't mind. I've honestly, of course, haven't had too much time to catch up on that, but it is also, of course, important to me. So if you could catch me up a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, it went wild. ICE tried to make detentions on the 6th in LA. They did some in Compton, and then they detained some people at the facility, and the people stood up and started protesting. And yesterday it reached a pretty loud breaking point. There was a car got set on fire, tires are getting set on fire, dumpsters were getting rolled around as barricades. There was one gas station that was looted that I know of, but we covered a 8.5-hour stream and ended, almost 1 o'clock in the morning here. So I got a few hours of sleep, but it was a long stream. But it got wild. The National Guard got called out by the Trump administration.
We had pretty good connection, but there were still internet issues, which is just, I guess, part of the problem when you're, unless you're dealing with like a giant group or organization that has the ability to, share or, okay, English is hard. Bear with me.
English hard.
Project. English is hard. Unless you're with a big group that can share, that has a capacity. That's the word I was looking for, to share their streams and their information. Us little guys, we got to deal with what we have, and so that's what we do. So, and you know what? It still works. Damn it.
Yeah. No, it works really well. I'm actually shocked about how well it does work. I wasn't expecting. I think total. I can't even count. I haven't added it all up, but I know we're helping. And I see it. I hear it. I see it.
I got to be honest with you. As much as I hate it, I'm using fucking Starlink right now, and I fucking hate. Trust me, I don't. I think you understand. I'm not okay with that, but sometimes when it's your only option, and your goal is to save the lives of people you know and love, you just you deal with it because it's the only thing you have at this point. So for right now, that's what we're doing. We're Starlinking.
Hey, you know what? sometimes roses bloom from shit. That's all I'm saying. So, if that's what it's got to be,
I feel like I'm one of those roses. I'm one of the roses.
yes,
To be honest.
absolutely.
Hey, I've got some good news.
Yes.
Well, good news depending on how you look at it. I don't know. Are you familiar with Oksana, that Russian, the drunk Russian bitch that
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
has been pretty bothered by me? For the listeners or watchers or whatever viewers who don't know, subscribers, sorry. Oksana is okay, I'll just be upfront with you. She's a character of mine, and a bit of an outlet, if you will. And she's from Russia, and she's a drunk bitch. She's a sloppy drunk bitch. Her husband went to the front line. He was sent to the front line of the Ukrainian war, and he got drunk and he wandered into a minefield. And he was blown up, and so then Oksana received a big bag of potatoes from Putin, which she was very pleased with. But now she's looking for a new husband to make baby with. Well, from what I hear, she is here in Ukraine and might be putting out some content. She's been spotted in Ukraine. Apparently, she's here looking for me because she doesn't like Ukrainian suchki or bitches that are on the opposite side. So we'll see how that goes.
Oksana Vodkovich.
Oksana Vodkovich, that's right.
We are looking at Oksana Vodkovich's account right now.
I know last time you played like the long video, which is hilarious. But when that one, Russian beach came on, but Oksana is just she's a mess. She's an embarrassment to, I would say, humankind. But somehow some people still don't quite grasp the fact that she's maybe not the most real person, and that she is a bit of a satirical character. And you know what? That's fine with me. Honestly, because the more people that give her dirty looks as a Russian Stuka, the more the better. So I'm all about that.
Oksana likes pickle as well.
Yeah, she does. She actually, sometimes when she goes out, she brings individual sandwich bags with pickles in them, and people love it, honestly.
I saw her dream toilet. It's amazing. It's good to have dreams, guys.
Yeah, you do what you can do, you know? When you live in literally a pit, that's, she does her best, I guess.
Oksana isn't real. I've been catfished. I sent her money for her plane to Canada. We made plans to be married. Spartacus. Oh, my.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. She's not real.
Oh my God, Spartacus.
But to be honest, just so we're clear, I did not receive any money on her behalf. I want to make sure that everyone's clear that I'm also not duping anyone here. Oh, man. It's hot as fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'll admit it. I'm very much privileged to live in the land of moving air. Not even cold air, just moving air. And I bought this little fan for like $4 in this shop, and I just found it in our bag of other things that we bought for this. So you say, home for refugees. We bought a bunch of like art supplies and what's the word for that? When you want to write letters and stuff. What's that word? When you want to write letters and stuff, like pens and pencils and paper, like, okay, we'll just say art supplies.
Stationery supplies?
Stationery, thank you, yeah. Stationery supplies and art supplies and everything. And I found this little, let's see, it was probably $8, an $8 fan. There were a couple different options, and I was like, I'm going all out. And I just found it in our pile of stuff, so I'm grateful for it. But also, I'm still very much first worlding right now with the heat here. So.
Well, right now I'm sharing some of the pictures from the 47th snipers from the candy bars we got them.
Yeah. Oh, here I'm just checking on my phone on how I look, and I look very much naked. So let me make sure that I put a shirt on.
Okay.
1 second, and I'll turn my camera on.
No worries.
Because I'm not naked. Just, I mean, unless it'll help Ukraine. But 1 second.
So this is what we got for the 47th snipers, guys. Paige is over there hand delivering it. We bought candy bars for snipers. So this is 100% our new slogan on the channel. With a song coming. I'm going to make a song about it for sure.
Yes. And they're actually, can you hear me? I forgot if I turned it. Did I mute? Can you hear me?
No, you can hear you fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, we... Зараз трошки подумаємо по-українськи. One moment, please. Trying to find this shirt. Okay, here we go. They also have some flags to sign for us, for donors, or for honestly, however you want to do it or handle it. Renegade, it's your this will be your thing. So okay, let me hear. I'm getting situated here. Do you believe?
Did I hear sign flags?
Here, I'm gonna look like a hot mess here, so you can at least believe that it's me.
I heard sign flags. Okay.
Here I am, Casey.
Hi.
Hi.
Where'd you go?
So. Oh, here I am. Is the fan too loud?
Nope, can't hear.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we didn't have too much time with them, but I brought them some flags for them to sign. I previously had some flags from the 47th. They had a lot of fans, I'll do air quotes, back when they were in the Avdiivka area, and they knew that, and that was great. Unfortunately, well, I'll say that this particular group they're snipers, and I've been helping support them for a couple years now. And they when I brought up like, oh, I was able to raise a lot of money with the flags that I had you 3 sign last year. And they're like, and I was like, you have a lot of fans. They're like, yeah, but not anymore. Which was kind of I didn't make a big deal of it with them, of course, but was difficult to hear because you're literally listening to people who are going through the 7 levels or whatever of hell, and they recognize that like we had a lot of followers and a lot of people that were supporting us, and now we don't, and that's fucking wild and unfortunate, to be honest. So I was trying to be like really supportive of them, and I mean I have been individually with this particular group, but I mean that particular battalion has gone, I'll give very general numbers, has gone from I'll say 600 to 200, and that's not just because they've all passed at all. It's just like because that when you guys are injured, they can't work anymore. They can't do that job anymore. But if you can imagine, I mean, we're only going on the 4th year of war. That's a lot of people that are no longer able to fight with them. So they've been on a rotation. I'm trying to think of what I can say here. I know though, everybody knew, not everybody, but like if you followed the 47th, they were in the Avdiivka area, which was horrific for a lot of Ukrainians, for a lot of my units in particular that I help support. They've kind of had some time that they've been rotated out to different areas. Some of them, however, have recently been called back to the front, so to different areas of the front. So it's great for their mental health that they, and I say this like, I know it's kind of fucked up, but like, it's great that they've been relaxing at less intense areas of the front line. Genuinely, it is. But they're also they have that past experience, and they are going back to a lot of the same, potentially a lot of the same horrific stuff that they experienced before. So, it's really, as much as we can say, like, I recognize, like, personally, for example, I recognize that I can't help every single Ukrainian unit, every single Ukrainian soldier. I know that. But it doesn't mean that it hurts any less when I hear one of them tell me that they know that they're going back to this inevitable, horrific place. And that's hard, especially when you do know their families, or you do know their past, or what they've already been through. So anyway, I lost my train of thought. Point is,
yeah, Acoustic Kitty says it's crazy how support just drops off and people never look back. It is. I'll never understand that, and we don't have that option here.
100%.
I don't. I can't look back. That's. I'm actually in it. What's the feel like for you there now compared to the last time you were there? I know the shelling and the drones are super intense right now.
So in 2023. It was a lot of like on the ground, like I was looking at, and I laughed because I may have said this before in your space, but like, or on your channel. Okay, one more time. The fan is not causing problems.
Can't hear it at all.
I'm just making sure. Because I feel great right now with this little tiny ass fan blowing on my face. So thank you. I 2 years ago. The biggest, I guess, for me, from my perception, and I think I think that this generally applies to most of the front. The biggest threat was like troops on the ground. The fact that we were able, and this is before, like, I'm not saying FPVs didn't exist, but they certainly weren't they weren't even a small fraction of what they are now. And I think this is what I mentioned before when we had spoken on your channel. Being able to stand and look at Bakhmut from being between Chelsea VR and Bakhmut, and looking at the buildings, like the notorious buildings, like the buildings that everybody knows in like pictures when they think of Bakhmut. At the time, standing there and looking at them 2 weeks after Russians took them the second time, and being able to do that, and like that was still when Wagner was there, and the fact that like we were able to stand there, and I at the time didn't really appreciate, and I say appreciate, like recognize, I guess, that moment as much as I should have, but like looking at them, like I was able to, and I see myself as an example, able to stand there and look at these buildings where there were Russians, where there were Wagnerites, like this terrorist group, and I was able to stand there and look at that. Then we did have to leave because there was a Russian surveillance drone, but that's like, which may or may not have been sending our coordinates to blow us up. But the point is, we were able to stand there for quite some time looking at this, and like you cannot, and that's at the zero line. I mean, we were literally that, and there were a couple of times where we did that, and that's just like the most significant moment, I guess, during that time. But I was able to stand at the fucking zero line of this war without dying, without like imminent danger. I mean, maybe you just debatable, but like able to do that. And within months after that, because of FPV drones, because of the significant increase of FPV drones, you couldn't do that anymore. And I look back at that, and I think just like the difference between then, and that was only May. Okay, we were there. I was there June 2023. So we're only talking 2 years, and the difference between warfare then and now, and the fact that Paige from Kansas, could stand there and look at these buildings versus now, like you can't be within 15, 20 miles or kilometers or whatever, it's all the same to me at this point. It's all if you get within like less than 50, it's all the same thing in my mind. But you can't do that anymore, and because I don't know, the wars just changed so much, and I think I totally lost my train of thought with what you were asking me. Because I go off in this like we're in Kharkiv 2 nights ago, coincidentally the night of one of the worst attacks in Kharkiv since the full scale, and they had launched the next day we found out they had launched 48 Shahed drones, 2 some kind of missiles, and 4 COBs, which are like cruise missiles, and it was loud as fuck. It was and I've heard to be honest with you, the scariest, most uncomfortable or scariest sound to me are the drones, because they're low and slow. You can hear them longer, and you hear ear defense working, so like you can hear them coming, and they've been sending them more in groups, so you can hear them coming, and they're louder. That's sound. And then you hear air defense working, and then occasionally you hear immediately after you hear a boom because they made contact, and then sometimes you don't, and then you're just waiting like, okay, fuck, they made it through. To me, that sound is one of the worst, and it's one of the most horrific sounds of this war, because it's one thing if you're just like, war is of course horrific, terrible, like nothing no one sound is better, feeling is better than the other, but the sound of UAVs over civilian areas is probably one of the worst things I've ever heard, and I genuinely mean that, having heard, having been in areas where we've been like mortared, and I've heard smaller drones, I've heard mortar rounds, I've heard artillery rounds, but like the sound of UAVs above for the regular people that live in Ukraine, or in any area that have to hear that, it's horrific. And that right there, to me, in my opinion, not just my opinion, I think it's a fact generally, it's terrorism.
Well, 100%. Actually, Dodger just sent me back a footage of a Shahed that they just shot down there too, during some of those massive strikes. I knew they were coming, and was sitting here hoping that the loss of life is minimum, but just knowing that attack was coming, it was just painful. I can't imagine being there and experiencing that. That's just a whole different level of emotion. I can't handle. Like, I cried during Star Wars. I don't know if I could even do it, but I'm sure the situation. Yeah. But geez. So if anything, it's become more lethal over there. It sounds like on the front, on the zero.
Yeah, I feel like because the on the ground threat. So that goes back to like the first year I was here, where back in 2023, when I was on the ground and I was in towns that had been occupied, in villages and towns that had been occupied more than once. I was going into areas that were just riddled with bullets and had gone through like significant on the ground fighting, and that was of course terrifying. And like every time we'd get out of the car and they'd be like, or I would like meet up with the group, and like they would like put this like one group would put this like chemical, like Soviet chemical suit on me to help, because it was raining, not because of chemicals, because it was raining. But those things are heavy and hot as shit. So I ended up just like dripping sweat. I was just as wet as I wanted to be in the rain. But we're like, they put it on me, and then like the commander I was with, the primary commander I was with, like took my hand. He's like, all right, let's go. I'm going to show you like where I'm going to walk you around the village and the school. And I was like, okay. And then we're walking to this field of this village that had been twice occupied previously. And I was like, but are there mines here? Like, because I like, and I knew, like, of course he wasn't going to just like drag me through a field. But at the same time, you have these moments where you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
You realize like where you are and who's been there and more importantly, how horrible the people who have been there have been and have left the place, because when we finally made it to those schools and to those apartments, every cabinet and every classroom and apartment, every school, whatever, was open, because that's what they do. They go into every building, and I've been in so many towns and villages like this, and it's fucking disgusting. They go in there, and they go into every building, whether there are people there or not. And if there are people there, they either hold them captive, or if they're little ladies, they usually leave them sometimes, or they just they exterminate them a lot of the time. So they go into every building, every apartment, every schoolroom, and they open every cabinet and they leave it that way. And it's creepy as shit, because when you walk into these schoolrooms, every cabinet is open, and an apartment or house, every cabinet's open and everything's pulled out from it. And you can see that, like, there was a school, one village school that I was in, where like there was a laptop box, like so they had a laptop at some point, and the laptop box was like out and had been like ripped, even those cards were like ripped open. And then like in the apartments, different appliances had been pulled out. Like there was a bread maker, but that had been left, but like other appliances were taken, and then everything else in the apartments, including in the children's rooms, was just dumped and flipped, and they were just searching through every single thing that they possibly could. So that was then. And then last year, because that was last year after a lot of the biggest, we pushed, Ukraine pushed a lot of sorry, this is a little language moment for me here. Ukraine pushed a lot of the enemy troops out of those areas. We are primarily in areas where there are more large attacks. So, and unfortunately, a lot of the areas we were in have now been taken. For example, a town named Kurakove. Okay, and with an English accent, I always have to think about this. Kurakove. There's like a river there that's like a long river. It's near the Avdiivka front, and we're in Pokrovsk, and there's another town that's been taken since then, and then Kurakove, and then outside of Avdiivka, and a lot of those towns have been taken. A lot of those had not been previously infiltrated by Russian troops, but they had been heavily bombed. And now this year, we're kind of all over the place. I mean, literally all over the place, not kind of. So we've been in some areas that have been taken by Russians, and some areas that have not been, but have just been heavily struck by their artillery, by their ammunition, by their missiles. But I would say that overall, 20 minutes later, to answer your question, yeah, it's not like the on the ground stuff is as scary now as like the fact that there's these giant fucking missiles and these drones that just and it's not just because the Shahid drones. I actually was with a couple of Ukrainians a few days ago who saw we were. I'll say we saw a Shahid drone that had been taken down, and they were really surprised by how big it was, which to me was kind of surprising because I already knew. I had seen a lot of pictures, I had just looked into it and everything, but like the Ukrainians I was with were actually like, holy shit, I didn't think they were that big, because there are some areas now that have been hit by Shahids, of buildings that have just even though they're smaller, depending on what they strike, it can really have a really intense and really large impact. So I would say that the shot heads, the UAVs are the biggest threat right now. Then like the large attacks, and that's how I genuinely think that Russia is planning to. As far as I know a lot of people are talking about Sumi and a breakthrough there. I think, and this applies to a lot of different areas of the front. My personal opinion is that their plan is to just bomb the ever living shit out of the defense and the people in that area, and then their shit ass troops can advance, because they know that they on the ground they don't have in my opinion, I think that they know that they don't have the ability on the ground to just to invade, I guess. As far as artillery, then they still do have artillery and everything, but like as far as like their skill, the amount of artillery and everything, I think that their strategy is to just use large weapons, large artillery to weaken the shit out of certain areas, so they can just like, okay, we got you, like kind of really quickly, because they're just gonna like blow the ever living shit out of people and then like try to sneak in there really quick because they're fucking cowards. That's it.
And they're they're mass producing these things too, so they don't plan to stop doing this tactic. This is Russian tactics 101. And with the ballistic missiles, I saw the videos of the ballistic missiles hitting Kharkiv. That was crazy. So you could hear the actual blast that was in that footage.
Yeah, we were there then.
Dang.
I'm laughing not because it's funny. It's horrific. It's horrific. I'm just laughing because of the, when you're obviously when you're in an area like this, you're like planning to go. Well, at least I'm not. I'm not a journalist. I'm not planning to go to certain areas. I'm like, that's gonna get really fucked up. Like, I'm gonna go there. Like, but we were there. Just so happened that of all the nights, because it's horrible in a lot of places over here in Ukraine all the time. It just so happened that we were going to meet with some doctors in Kharkiv, and met with them and came up with some, and we're helping. So far, there's just for a little bit of background. Natasha, my primary Ukrainian partner, she went to like medical school, and she's gotten more into psychology now. She does mostly, aid and things like that, but she got more into the mental health side of things. But she was in medical school, and so two of these doctors in Kharkiv she had worked with previously or studied with previously. And so we met with them, and one of them, I'm currently, thanks to donations from people like you all, we're helping repair a machine that has to do with blood, like blood, as far as like plasma and red blood cells. I can't. That's how I'm gonna leave it, because that's I'm that's how I'm gonna leave it. And then they also need help with a machine that has to do with scopes, throat scopes. So I know all these words. I've actually had a throat scope done before, but like ear, nose, and throat doctor, for example, and like where they have to like look down and scope your esophagus and stuff. So and these machines, these pieces of equipment are very, very expensive, and obviously it's very difficult for them to replace them. So what I'm trying to help them do is, and we've done with one of them, the blood machine, let's leave it at that, is repair them. So and we've got another, that was $500, so we've got another 1,000, yeah, for this throat scope machine. And this is let me think what I can say. It is a hospital.
That's good enough.
That is for soldiers.
That's good enough.
It's a war hospital.
It's a hospital.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
Yeah.
I think we can help with that.
Yeah. So there's that. I did, before I forget, for your specific group, and I have been in touch with Sabhi, who's the senior sergeant that is my primary contact with the 14th, who's the brigade that you got me in touch with initially because we were helping them with. I know a lot of your viewers and subscribers know about. And we've been able to do so much for them, and it's been fantastic. Most recently, their biggest thing has just been like medicine and drones, which I honestly don't get too many drone requests anymore. I think part of that has to do with a lot of the groups that I work with have been sourcing them locally. However, there are still some who, that's great for territorial defense brigades, for example, like know people in the area and so on. However, for example, for the 14th Brigade, who I now help thanks to you, and who you continue to help, as well as Blonde Bombshell and your viewers, I still haven't even shared this with you. I don't know what to call you. Like, I know your real name, but do I call you Renegade or Chungus?
It don't matter. Sure, either way. Chungus is fine.
Oh, no, it just makes me laugh. And my son's even curious. So, okay. So, what did I want to say?
You know how I got that name, right?
No, I don't.
So I had cracked this tooth off, and I had cracked this tooth off at the same time, right? And I had just 2 buck teeth, and my kids were like, "It's a big chungus." So that's like it's stuck at that point. And then I got that one fixed, and this one's implanted. Wait for the crown. So now it's gonna go away.
I love it.
The name stuck.
No, I love it. I didn't know that though. I just like I didn't even think, like, I just thought it was, another internet thing, and then when I mentioned it in front of my older son who's 8, and he like lost it, and I was like, what? So whatever, I went with it. But anyway, so anyway, you Renegade Chungus, excuse me. You have, got us in touch initially, and so through you and with you, we've been able to provide quite a bit of support for them. And I know that they're working on they are grateful. What's adorable, and I will say this. So he's always been like, whatever videos, whatever pictures, whatever, we'll make whatever thank you video. And so I was like, okay, well, like, here's a group that's been doing a lot of work for you guys, because I generally, just as a side note, and I know you're the same, but like I try not to make a big deal out of like, I need you to do this for me kind of thing, because we all know, like, sometimes these guys are in horrible positions or whatever. So, but he's all about it, and so, because he's over a lot of people, and so we've been talking, and I have not totally separately, but like, have a little bit helped him separately with some drone stuff, and so he was asking me about videos and everything, and so I told him like who he was like, who can we thank? And so I like wrote it out, and I was like, you can do this in Ukrainian. I was like, if you need me to transliterate, so basically write like in Ukrainian letters how, like, my name is Paige, for example. My name is Paige in English, right? Well, in Ukrainian it's Paige. That's my name, right? So I was like, if you need me to do that, I'll do that. And he's like, please. So I wrote it out. So I can't wait to hear it. Renegade Chungus, I think it's. But so anyway, so you guys will get that soon. And he's such a good guy. You just need people under horrible circumstances sometimes. But you just need people like you just like click with, and you appreciate it, and you know that they're good people. And then coincidentally, and I know I told you about this. He and I primarily, he being a senior sergeant, so he with the 14th Brigade, he and I primarily only communicate about war-related stuff. But when we were talking about like videos and pictures and volunteers, because he was talking to me about how we were chatting about how a lot of people in the beginning of the war cared and they were helping and so on, and it's a lot more difficult. And that's him on the soldier side, and I was agreeing on the fundraising side outside of Ukraine. And he was telling me about this video he was going to send. He's like, "Hey, I'm looking for this video. On my birthday 2 years ago, my guy surprised me, and it was really cool." Well, I was like, "Oh, that's so great!" And then I had a reason why, but I was like, "My birthday's on the 10th of June, like this next Tuesday," and this was like a week ago, maybe. And I was like, "My birthday's, oh, that's cool. My birthday's on the 10th of June," and something. And he's like, "That's a crazy coincidence. So is mine." And then I was like, "Get out!" And then he sends me a picture of his passport, like he didn't believe it. He's like, "No, really." He sends me a picture, which was adorable, and I love him for that. Like, I was like, "No, I believe you." But he is exactly to the day 1 year less than I am. So on this Tuesday, I'll be 38, he'll be 37, and I told him, I was like, "This is great. Like, on our birthday, we'll do a birthday, fundraiser." I said that I would tell Renegade Chungus, a blonde bombshell, you see, and everyone else that it's our birthday or whatever. But like, it was, it's just a really cool, seriously crazy coincidence that we ended up having the same birthday. And I don't know, like it's the birthday's on. I'm turning 30. I don't give a shit. I'd rather not think about my birthday, to be honest with you. But if it would help, raise money, and especially if it helps, him and his group and everything, like, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm so excited and so happy about that. Well, what a crazy coincidence,
Yeah.
To not ever talk about anything personal really, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, that's my birthday too. So
Well, awesome.
that's what we're gonna do on Tuesday.
We will definitely be pushing that. I know you're going to be wilding out on your birthday, but I will do a birthday fundraiser stream on that particular day, and see, that'll be a big push there too. So hopefully we can get some more
Thank
people
you.
to help as well. That's a really good story. That's awesome. That's really good to
Yeah.
hear. And that is super coincidental.
Yeah, I know. He said that, like, I even it's like I can read decently in Ukrainian, but like I even plugged that into a translator because I was like, I don't think I'm understanding this correctly. And I was like, oh shit. No, it was really, I didn't understand it. So, and you know what? That's a really cool part. That's a really cool, like, birthday thing, whatever. Not whatever, but that's a cool part. But also, one thing that I'm really excited, I'm really happy about, is that a couple of my good friends who are at the front. So just a quick synopsis. Shit's been really hard for a lot of my groups the last couple of weeks. It's been really intense fighting. Those of you who might have seen my posts on other websites like X and Blue Sky and Reddit, I've had one group that was completely stranded, unfortunately, because they've lost a lot of men already, and then they've just been overwhelmed with FPVs, and so they had lost their at first their antenna for their drone jammer, and then I don't know the exact order of time, but they lost their last vehicle that they could get out with. So basically, they're stuck in their position. So I had posted this yesterday, about 24 hours ago, and have been incredibly overwhelmed with the generosity of people because one of those guys is one of my good friends. And so, I said, like, I can't just sit around and wait for him to
Oh no,
die.
I know. I shared it on my stream last night, and I started looking for
Thank
exfil
you.
groups. Like I was like contacting people I know that can get people out of a bad
Well,
situation.
thank you.
Like, oh my god, she needs
Yeah,
help right
no,
now.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. And so I have been, fortunately, because of the help that I've been able to do, and because the people I've been able to meet through Natasha and over the last couple of years, I've gained credibility not just with donors, but with the actual military. And so I have some commanders that I've been working with here that I normally help, but like they're the commanders for this group. So my kind of position is to, they can handle the military strategy part of it, and then I'm here to help provide the materials that they, I'll just put it that way, that they need to help this. And it's not just getting them out, it's getting them out safely, not putting other groups at risk, not losing vehicles that other groups need desperately, because a lot of our other groups only have 1 or 2 operating vehicles. And making sure that we're not just giving up this position to the enemy. So trying to, as quickly as possible, get these guys out, but also reinforce that area. So this, obviously leaving the strategy up to the professionals, but I'm just trying to be here as much as possible to be able to provide the supply and everything that they need, and the network, which I've been really fortunate to have established over the last couple of years. Because just for example, a drone jamming system, a REB for a vehicle it can be anywhere between like $1,600 to $2,400 in general, just for like 4 antennas, for example. And so, we that if we want to send in a vehicle to retrieve this group, we want to make sure that they have an adequate drone jamming system and everything, because in this particular area they're just getting freaking rocked with FPVs, and not even I know that we're out of battery soon, but not even like I know that the fiber optic drones are a big thing now in a lot of parts of the front, but in our area, or at least in a lot of the areas where my guys are, they exist in a handful, but for the most part, they're not. They're still doing the same FPV stuff. But we're also talking about just when you and they're doing this with the Shahid drones now. I think I mentioned this earlier. When you fire or launch or whatever, and of anything, there's a good chance that a couple of them are going to get through, kind of thing. And in this particular case of these guys, they did have I don't know how exactly, and honestly, I'm not in the military here in Ukraine, so it's not my business, and I'm not going to ask. I know I've come across this, and I'm working with people that I know personally and I trust. So, and I've seen, unfortunately, the outcome of when this happens, but occasionally shit happens. That's how I'll put it. Shit happens, and for different reasons, it might not necessarily be just an FPU. It could be some kind of other mortar round or something. But we do lose the equipment that we've worked really hard to provide, or I don't know, just shit happens. So point is that I would say, and this goes back to your question, I think you asked like an hour ago, and I think it's probably taken me an hour to get there. But yeah, it's definitely at the front now. The biggest thing is I was just speaking with a commander a couple nights ago who There still is artillery on both sides. And so it's not just FPVs that are doing damage on both sides. But the only thing that matters at this point, if you are a good person, is what we have on the Ukrainian side. And in that case, yeah, I don't know. So at this point, I think. Sorry, I know I'm all over the place. I'll wrap this up by saying that the post that I made about the guys that I have stuck at the front has incredibly generated like a stupid amount of money. I mean, like a great amount of money. Which one of those guys is my really good friend, so I'm like, I don't even want to think about it. I'm trying to disconnect from it a little bit right now because I don't get emotional again about it. But I'm so incredibly grateful for that, for the immense feedback that I've received from that. And I just really hope that we can keep that going, because of course, that's just only one small group. And Natasha and I, my primary Ukrainian partner, and I support over 15 units at the front, and that's units. And this is this one fundraiser is for a small division of a battalion. So if that gives you guys any idea of the importance of what you're doing and of what we're doing, I just want to say thank you. And as soon as I get more thank you videos and things from the front, I will. I have plenty of other videos and stuff. Some stuff I can't share. I choose not to share while I'm physically here or while I'm in certain areas. So
no, I completely
thanks for
understand.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
No, I completely understand. And, the sharing thing, I got sent a video from my buddy Dodger, who I'm emotionally invested in, too, that I showed you, that's looking for that new kit for a side mission. Also, yeah, I heavily edited that. He
still hasn't called me, by the way.
I'll hit him up today.
Okay.
I know
because I'm ready.
I know he was busy, but he's headed back to the 02, so I'll hit him up today, too. It wasn't a big list.
Yeah, for sure.
It's never a big list.
No, I know. And
like
usually like a lot of the guys and that's exactly right. A lot of especially in the beginning, like Ukrainians don't want to ask for help. Which is great, but at the same time, yeah, it is like pulling teeth. But in his case, we're gonna be heading out of town again. I can wait, but I can't wait to figure out how much we've driven this time, because for the love of, I know that we've driven at least 3,000 miles. I'm not kidding you.
Dude.
Like I'm not exaggerating. And that's not like plane rides or any of that shit. Like that's just within the country. But sorry, I was only thinking about my butt because it hurts from sitting in the butt. However, we're gonna be heading out again here soon, and then we'll be back. But I know that he's heading back to the front soon, and he's a bit west of where we are now. So yeah, I'm ready to. We'll make sure we get him taken care of for sure.
All right. Well, it looks like we're losing your feed a little bit here, and I know your battery's going out, and I know you're super busy, and we're now 1 hour in, and you gave me 30 minutes, so thank you for doubling your time. I know you're busy. And the fact that you can call me from a Starlink in Ukraine is just an amazing accomplishment.
I hate it.
But
I hate it.
Like I said,
I hate it so much.
You are a rose blooming from a pile of heaping shit. So it is fine.
Can we just say I'm like a psilocybin mushroom from a pile of shit?
Yes.
I feel like that would be more magical.
Yes, that is extremely magical, Paige. All right, guys. Well, hey, it's been fun. Paige in Kansas is here. Let's continue donating to her fundraiser, guys. She took the time to come join us today, so please help out. And we'll make a big push on your birthday. And I will definitely take a signed flag for myself and for the chat if you could. That'd be amazing.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Oh, without a question.
Okay.
I got you.
All right. Well, I guess we'll talk to you later. Please stay safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you. I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much for your help. Genuinely. Slava Ukraini.
Herodom Slava. Okay, guys. That was Paige in Kansas. She's over there doing it. And the call. There we go. Shut that down. Shut that down. And here's some of the supplies in the background that we purchased for the snipers. So this was for the 47th. Here is picture of 47th and Paige hand donating him. That was fresh that she gave. So that is all the stuff. We got razors, they've got chocolate bars and other necessities that they need. We buy candy bars for snipers, guys. And then drones got to the 14th mechanized. And we got some other things too. I don't even have the list on me right now. We had a really long stream last night covering the riots in LA, which I wanted to just peek into also while we're here. But this is mostly for Paige. We need to continue fundraising for her. Please, it's pinned in the top of the chat, guys. Whatever you can do, just say from Chungus's community or whatever. You know, whatever you want to say. It's gonna go to a good cause. I am trying to get a hold of Dodger to get a hold of her because he needs new gear. He needs a new kit. He's headed back to the front. There is the link to her donation fundraiser. Yeah. So, and she's got more content coming out. She's all over the place. She's on X. She's on Blue Sky, and many other platforms, even Reddit. So, 100% one of the best humans I've ever met. So we have to continue helping and supporting. We're going to do that. Like I said, her birthday is the 12th, and then sometime, or the 10th, excuse me, the 10th. And then sometime later on, we will be transitioning back to Car for Ukraine, because I told them I would pick up a fundraiser for another armored vehicle, which we will be focusing on in the near future. Okay, so that was a quick little update. I just wanted to peek in also and see if there's any more news. I haven't even checked this morning. I literally, we were up so late last night covering the LA riots. I wanted to just peek in and see what's going on over there, if there's anything new, and see what's going on over there. So I'm just going to type it in. Did I say riots? I meant protests, guys. I apologize. I retract that statement. There were protests. One gas station got sacked last night out of the whole bunch, and it's because they're standing out there all day. And some crazies got out. The later it got, the crazier it got out. But it wasn't even a riot. Like, Trump called in the National Guard, and like the police had it. They weren't even necessary, and he superseded Gavin Newsom's authority to do it. So, pretty atrocious behavior. I want to actually check the TikTok feed and see if there's anything live. I can't believe I called it a riot. That was dumb. I'm sleepy. It was a very long night last night. I know some of you guys were here with me then too, but we were covering it 100%. There is some crazy footage going on though, for sure. It got wild. People are standing up. They're pissed. You can't just go snatch people up in white vans and take them away. That is very Russian-esque. And boy, the people of LA, they don't stand for this. You give them a reason. Like, it's, I don't know what else to say. You give them a reason, they're gonna stand up for themselves, guys. They will not bow to fascism, especially down there. Like, that place is wild. It's wild as it is. It's a big city. And you've got 10% of LA is undocumented. I see some, there's some live camera. I don't really see anything popping as far as that goes. I did see there was a YouTube feed up, it looks like. We'll take a peek in the YouTube feed. Let me cut the music. We'll peek into a little bit of LA, and then I can just scroll through TikTok and see what pops up on the algorithm as far as this is concerned, because this is what I hyper focused on yesterday. Were you guys with me for that long stream yesterday? That was wild. That was the longest stream and most views I ever had. I don't even see any live. Nice. Pro. Test live. This might be live. This might be a loop too. We'll just take a peek into it. Give you guys a little idea what was going on. Well, it looks like National Guard is there. National Guard's there. It looks like that's definitely live feed. National Guard called into Los Angeles, strapped with freaking M4s, ready to go. Can you believe this?
Yeah. Like they don't want them. That is like really bad.
This is wild. Definitely hear news reporters in the background.
Elon's not going to go away. He's also gets it.
God, dude, how did you, I don't know. I don't know how they can do that. I couldn't do that.
And I was, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I remember.
It's only going to escalate things too. I don't think the National Guard's going to help the situation being there, but I think that's what Trump wants as well. Like we
It's like,
talked about.
holy shit, 20 minutes.
What do you guys think? You think National Guard's going to cool things down or heat it up a little bit?
At least breaks that like unholy alliance of like it's like regardless, like, I don't necessarily want them on, you know, but I want them not to be Monday. You know?
Yeah, this is wild, right?
Oh, he says he's right up. He's right up there. That's so funny. He's right there. That's funny.
We do have additional live feeds. I just found at least one here on TikTok. It's only 9:08 a.m. over
Okay,
here.
also war das jetzt technische Probleme oder war es irgendwas anderes?
SS, yeah, SSS. Unreal.
Achso, nein, ich habe nicht was nachgedacht.
We got an update too on X from Gavin Newsom retweeting one of Donald Trump's. For those keeping track, Donald Trump's National Guard had not been deployed on the ground when he posted this. Great job by the National Guard in Los Angeles. After 2 days of violence, clashes, and unrest, we have an incompetent Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass, who were, as usual, just look at how they handle the fires, and now they're very slow permitting disaster. Federal permitting is complete, unable to handle the task. These radical left protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers, oh my god, paid troublemakers, will not be tolerated. Also, from now on, masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. What? What do these people have to hide and why? What about your ICE agents? Again, thank you from the National Guard for help well done. For a job well done. Wow, they didn't do shit. We watched the whole thing last night. They didn't do shit. We were up till like 1 a.m. Almost 1 a.m. This is insane. This is just madness. This is madness from a clown. Oh my god. So many mental health issues here in this one freaking statement from our president. It's just unreal. Unreal. Incompetent Governor Newsom? What type of shit is that right now? That's not divisive at all. He tried to seize power of the national... He did. He federalized the National Guard last night and sent him in. Unbelievable. He's loony. Loony. This is lunacy here, guys. But I don't know. The people of LA were way more tolerant than I expected. And the only real what we saw here was for the most part peaceful. I didn't see any violence or anything like that, which is good. They were spraying graffiti outside the building. Compton got a little crazier. There was a gas station that did get looted.
Protesters do it the best.
As a matter of fact, like we watched one moment. I remember Troll came on and he was like, "Oh, meanwhile they're looting the gas station." I'm like, "Dude, oh yeah, they stole 4 bags of chips and bashed the window." And then like an hour later, I look back and it was pretty looted. They took all the beer. They were drinking beer on the streets. They took the water and the chips. So they did hit a gas station. One gas station. How much money did we waste deploying the National Guard to a situation that was easily handled by LAPD and the Sheriff's Department? Just tons of money.
But there's, that red and white wall over there. That's the site of Mocha. Don't know how to get mods, Wanderlust, we're just out here filming, live streaming, seeing what happens.
It looks pretty calm and kosher right now. Let's hit the algorithm.
I came here today because I believe that America is in danger.
This is at the
Not
White
just
House.
from violence or extremism, but from something deeper. From the slow decay of
Hi,
truth.
baby.
From the corrosion of decency. From a man who has treated the presidency as a weapon and our country as a game. Donald Trump is not misunderstood. He is not a victim of a biased press or a rigged system. He is exactly what he shows us he is again and again. A man who has mocked the vulnerable, emboldened the violent, and betrayed the very people he swore to protect. And now, after everything, after an insurrection, after the indictments and convictions, after the cruelty, we're still here having to fight this clown. But we are here to tell the truth. We are here to say that the future of this nation does not belong to one man's ego. It belongs to the people who love it enough to fight for it. It belongs to those who believe that democracy is not a transaction. It's a responsibility.
Yes.
For years, Trump has peddled a fantasy, a story where he is a savior, where the press is the enemy, where immigrants are invaders, and where his critics are traitors. But that story has a cost. It has left families divided, communities targeted, veterans abandoned, and a nation exhausted. We've seen what happens when we allow hatred to masquerade as policy. We've seen what happens when power is hoarded instead of shared. And we've seen what happens when too many good people stay quiet, hoping someone else will speak up. Well, I'm speaking up because silence is no longer an option. Donald Trump doesn't lead, he provokes. He doesn't build, he bullies. And time after time, he's chosen his ambition over our country's well-being. He insulted veterans who gave everything for this nation, then turned around and gutted the very benefits they earned in blood and sacrifice. That's not strength. That's cowardice. That's cruelty. And still, he clings to power like a lifeline because he's not trying to save America. He's trying to escape accountability. But there is nowhere left to run. The American people are watching. And this time, we're not looking away. The truth is, Donald Trump fears only one thing: people who are not afraid of him. And look around. We're not afraid. Not anymore. We're angry. We're awake. And we're organized. We showed it yesterday in 209 locations across this country. We're showing it today, right here at the gates of our White House. And we will show it again tomorrow and the day after that, until this country belongs to all of us again. Not just the rich, not just the connected, not just the loudest, but every single one of us who still believes in liberty, justice, and a government that serves the people. So let this moment echo through every chamber of power. Donald Trump may still shout, but he no longer speaks for us. He may still scheme, but he will never again surprise us. And he may try to divide us, but he will never succeed. We're standing up. We're pushing back. We're taking our country back. Not with violence, but with vision. Not with rage, but with resolve. Not with a man, but with a movement. The opposition has arrived, and we are just getting started. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. That's a great speech right in front of the White House.
American opposition. I can't.
That guy's fired up. Looks like we got the sheriff of LA
So I'm
out.
hoping that continues, and hopefully we can avoid a lot of this violence that's taking place on the
We
street.
got the sheriff of LA out talking about LA.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, I just missed it. All right, we'll go back a little bit.
Maybe person here that they were
It's on Fox,
troops
but
after
I at least want to hear what the sheriff has to say.
a congressional briefing.
Starting to
Come on.
Set on fire, and we were sharing some of that live video yesterday as it all unfolded. Meanwhile,
It was such a
the
little
LA
freaking-
County
it
Sheriff
wasn't even that bad
Robert
last night.
Luna
It wasn't. I saw so
had
much worse
just a
before.
brief press conference yesterday to talk more on their efforts, and I did want to play out the very latest from the Sheriff's Department. As of yet, we have not heard of any additional briefings today. We're keeping a very close eye on that, and we will bring you the very latest, but this is the most recent from LA County Sheriff
Okay, so this
Robert
is from
Luna.
yesterday.
but I'm sure there's residents from Paramount and residents from around this area. Social media does wonders to get people to a location pretty quickly.
Yeah, you mentioned calling in more deputies and asking protesters to leave. If protesters don't leave and it becomes more violent, where do you think this goes by sundown?
Well, I really hope that that is not the case.
It wasn't.
In the business that I am in, I have to prepare for the worst. That's why we're calling in more resources. And as I was coming in, some of the larger groups were starting to disperse. So I urge them to please leave the area so that nobody gets hurt, nobody gets arrested if possible. But we're going to maintain a significant presence here in the city of Paramount. And we're going to keep an eye on the rest of the county just to make sure that other uprisings don't start. And if they do, that there's no violence or property damage there.
And honestly, shout out to the Sheriff's Department in LA. They did show remarkable restraint last night, guys. Like, I've seen them go wild before, and it wasn't like that. They knew, they know, these guys know if they escalate, you know, they both escalate. There were some cops out there that were doing a little extra. We saw that. And then there was some that were really well restrained. The ones that were causing most of the damage and the trouble appeared to be the federal officers. They were the ones that were out there tear gassing people, like, just on the get, and out there with the shields and everything. The Sheriff's Department did seem a lot more, you know, keen to the local community than the federal agents that were out there. The federal agents out there were just, they needed to go away. They were just causing trouble.
Are here with more coming in.
One question for the mayor. Obviously, the focus today is now on your city. What's the range of emotion that you're going through now, knowing that there are people here that are obviously very emotional about this, have a strong feeling about this, but it did get violent? I would imagine that's a conflict of emotions.
It is a conflict of emotions.
but it's a conflict of emotions that have been going on for a long time as we've listened to the media, what's happening in all the cities around us, and now it's come to our door. And I think that one of the big issues is just lack of communication from the authorities when something like this happens, so that we could have a better handle and be better prepared to educate our residents. And I appreciate authorities doing their job, but I also appreciate the people who are at this point, they're just frightened. And when you handle things the way that this appears to be handled, it's not a surprise that chaos would follow.
There it is.
And then just to wrap it up, I'll be meeting with
House.
some of our federal partners here shortly. And I would anticipate a good conversation about trying to work out some of these challenges as we move forward, because none of us want to have anybody injured or hurt during these events. So thank you very much for being here.
Administration, that's obvious. They didn't tell them shit that was going on. They came in, did ICE raids. We don't care about you guys. You're California. We're going to make a big spectacle. It's going to get ugly. This is exactly what Trump wanted. And kudos to the majority of citizens of LA for not taking the bait. They went out there, they peacefully protested. Yes, bad actors were out there. We all saw it. But it wasn't crazy. But if they keep pushing, it's going to be like that. They're not going to stand up for it.
We are Los Angeles. We are Los Angeles. We are Los Angeles.
Don't mess with LA. Trump attacked California. Yes, that is exactly what that was. In my mind, that's exactly what that was. It came after Cali.
We're seeing new video showing the chaotic moments protesters and federal agents clashed across Los Angeles.
It marked the second day in a row of unrest as ICE raids continue. Explosive flashbangs and clouds of tear gas filled downtown LA last night as police declared an unlawful assembly. There also appears to be some looting at a convenience store in Compton. LAPD says they detained several people and eventually arrested 27.
And this comes as the National
That's
Guard
what we watched
troops
all
that
live
President
last night,
Trump
guys.
ordered have started to arrive.
Eyewitness News reporter Amanda Palacios joins us live from
Yeah, it is
downtown
powerful.
Los
I love
Angeles
seeing people
with the
organized like that.
breaking
It
update, Amanda.
absolutely gives me goosebumps.
Good morning. Yeah, we've already seen a large growing National Guard presence here in downtown LA. If you take a look behind me here, you can see troops are stationed along Alameda Street as another protest is expected to take place later today near City Hall. This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city. This is new video from overnight showing the troops arrive. They stopped at City Hall after driving through Paramount, then ended up here at the Federal Building. Meantime, this follows another night of protest. Video from last night shows tense moments in downtown LA as protesters clashed with police, some setting off fireworks and starting fires. Officers responded with what appeared to be tear gas to disperse the crowds. In a separate incident, demonstrators were seen entering a damaged convenience store in Compton and looting items from inside. According to the LAPD, multiple individuals who returned to the area after a dispersal order was issued on Alameda Street were detained and are expected to be booked for failure to disperse. We spoke with Mayor Bass about the deployment of the National Guard and believes it's not necessary.
My concern, and we have experienced civil unrest, and I remember 1992 very well, that one of the worst things you can do is have an extreme presence of law enforcement that gets everybody agitated and the violence actually escalates.
And today's protest is scheduled for 2 p.m. and the LAPD says officers and the National Guard will remain stationed in this area. Reporting in downtown LA, Amanda Palacios, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So okay, Amanda, 2 p.m. protest today. I will not be able to cover that.
Right. As a former principal,
I will not be able to cover that.
The Democrats should get with us and come up with good tax policy.
Blah, blah. President Trump is
cut that music. Here they are. This isn't over, guys. This is not over. And I don't know what the response is going to be in the National Guard. It might be a game of cat and mouse, but school's out, right? And people are pissed. And to see presence like this in LA, it's not going to go well. Either way. $2 p.m. protests, yeah, good for them. Returning to the streets, that in itself is a statement. Yeah, they're not. This isn't going to stop until they leave. I don't think so. I don't think the National Guard being there is going to do a bit of good either. I really don't. Let's see what we got live. Not a lot live. Honestly, that looks like Black Friday at a convenience store, guys. So the last night was wild. We were in it for a while last night, reacting to a lot of the frontline footage. Then we saw one dude one of the independent journalists that was out there got hit with something right in his forehead, and it cut him pretty good. He was okay. It wasn't like super gory or bloody. It was just a little cut, but it definitely, he's gonna get some stitches. I was watching in the background. He went to the hospital. I want to see if he can get in on an interview here in the near future. So I'm going to reach out to that guy and see if he's willing to come on the channel and talk about his experience there and how the feeling was. I mean, not the feeling of him getting hit in the forehead with something, obviously, but just the feeling of being down there. But not a lot. It looks like it's kind of chilled out. Let's see what we got here.
Oh my God. I got up at 6.
Definitely got National Guard presence. So graffiti, is that why the National Guard's there? To stop graffiti? That was a long one, BB. Thank you. Shout out to Blonde Bombsheller for being there through just about the entire thing. You were still bonking people when you said you'd go to bed. We had trolls in the chat last night, guys. I was the #1 watched stream I had. Well over 2,000 viewers. Well over. It looks calm. I don't see a lot of madness going on. That's about it. Yeah. We'll see what happens 2 p.m. This isn't over yet, guys. Like I said, people in LA, they're a different animal. I've lived in California my whole life. What do we got? Where's this? Where's this?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, that's LA.
Fuck that. They're starting to arrest people. Oh, look, they got her.
Oh.
They got a few people.
Why do you got an AR out there, buddy?
Look, they got a few people. They're gonna start shooting.
That's so ridiculous.
They got the dude with the Mexican flag. They basically said get everybody with a hoodie on. Look at that.
And now Trump coming out and saying no masks at protests. How about no masks at ice rinks?
So they're all right here. Look at that. They're making a wall.
I don't like masks either, but
all
that is
right here.
unconstitutional. You can't make people not wear a mask.
Why you fucking push me? All right, it's time to go because nothing's gonna get resolved here. Oh shit, a takeover down the street.
Échate leche, güey.
Yeah, this isn't over yet, guys. More to come. If I find more clips,
I'm recording it, bro.
Busy
I'm not listening. It's my family in here, bro. It's my family right here, bro. It's my family right here, homie. It's my family right here, bro. Nah, I'm not gonna move. It's my family right here, homie. You tripping? It's a raza. Hey, don't touch me. You can't touch him, bro.
We have serious breaking.
Well, that's about it, guys.
Elon Musk yesterday.
So this isn't over. What we can do is I want to check in on some tweets. I want to check in. I know Adam Schiff came out yesterday with some words. I want to see if there's anything there. Let's see if you say anything today. Oh, this is on his personal account. We gotta go back to his Sandler Random Shift here. No, 14 hours ago was the last tweet from Adam Schiff. Expect more. I'll gather what I can. I don't know if I'm gonna do a stream tonight. I still have more stuff I gotta do this week. We have Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. We'll go back to what we started this stream on. Obviously, we got more protests coming. There's gonna be more coverage, and we will do our best to cover. I'll cover what I can of it. But the real reason we're here today is to help Paige in Kansas. If you missed the first part with their interview, please go back and watch. She gave a shout out to Blonde Bombshell and the rest of the community for helping. Here's the candy bars for snipers, guys. Right there. And then I'm trying to get Dodger to get a hold of her so he can get his kit. So we're gonna try to get him his kit, which was like $750 he needed worth of stuff. It wasn't huge. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up there. It's a shorter stream. Like I said, 8.5 hours yesterday. I'm burned out. Burned out. And I still got stuff to do today. So thank you guys for coming today. Once again, please donate. I'm gonna pin it. Yeah, right there. BB's on it. Please donate to Paige in Kansas. Earmark it from Chungus's community or whatever. You can put whatever, but then if we do end up picking this up for Dodger that we're trying to do, he just needs to get a hold of her. I just hit him up. We already started last night. Let's get him his kit. Let's get the 14th, whatever they need. We're gonna need more drones, and then probably afterwards we're going to transition to C4U Car for Ukraine fundraiser. It's fine, Darpat. I'll let her know. It's not a big deal. She knows it's coming anyways. Not a big deal. Like I said, it's all going to the same pot, so it'll be covered. It's like I said, for Dodger, it's gonna be getting that guy to ask for anything is pulling teeth. Like, hey, I'm headed to the front. What do you need? New gear. Okay, what do you need? Spoons. A fork. Oh, by the way, a helmet and armor. Okay. They're so humble in their asks. They ask just for what they need. It's amazing. And like she said, the 14th, like I reached out to the 14th, is like, what do you guys need? You guys need a vehicle? And the senior sergeant was like, to be honest, no. We don't need a vehicle. We need drones. Like to turn down a vehicle, I don't know many people that would do that and be like completely. There's a lot of groups that would just say yeah, even though they already got a few. So shout out to them. We're going to continue helping. Like I said, the senior sergeant of the 14th Mechanized Brigade also shares her birthday in 2 days. So we're going to do a birthday stream for her. We're going to try to generate funds on her birthday. She's going to be busy, so she won't be here, but we're going to surprise birthday her, guys. So plan in 2 days to help. All right. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for hanging out with Paige. I hope you guys feel appreciated, because you are. We can't do this without you. Absolutely cannot. Like, you guys have been so amazing. This community is so amazing. I continue to say it, and this channel continues to grow, and we're going to keep doing good things. So please join the Discord also. We're going to have Discord raffles. So I'm going to start raffling items. You have to be on the Discord to participate. We're going to have a spot there for screenshots of receipts. Blur out your private information when we start that. And then put it in there, and you will be entered into a raffle. I'm still in the process of figuring out how exactly I'm going to do this, but it won't take long for me to figure out. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. Join the Discord, support Paige in Kansas, and keep tuning in. Like, subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification too. I noticed notification percentage was super down on my channel. I would appreciate it if you could, guys. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Here's your outro. Peace out.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. A patriot's heart should beat with grace, not with fists or a hate-filled face. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame.
Why would you think Michelle Obama's a man?
Well, do a little research. Just do a little research.
But that's like out there.
What's out there is the fact that her walking out in a skirt, and there's an obvious bulge where there shouldn't be one.